reference plane where you are measuring the angle should be the surface of the LP. But,
yes.
For example, if you have 180 grams or 200 grams disc, then this plane is more high. So how can I be sure to measure the correct angle? Should I first have a look at my records? Oh, this is 200 grams, this is very thin from Japan or something?
Good point. Good point. So, this is total effective mass for effective length. 239, most popular, millimeters, right? In order to change 1 degree, you have to go up or down about 4 millimeters.
Oh, okay. This is the answer.
Okay? If it's longer, proportionally. I measured record, standard record is from 10 up to 1.2 millimeters. And it weighs from 90 grams to 110 grams. Okay? So your 180 to 200 will be going backwards. It's like 2 to 2.2 millimeters, something like that. Now, changing by a difference is 1 millimeter. Don't bother. Set it up for standard record, and if it goes, so from 92 degrees theoretically, will be by 1 millimeter, it's quarter degree.
91.
Go ahead.
For a 12-inch arm, how many millimeters do you need?
It's proportional. You can calculate. 5.3. You can divide for any, like 12, 3 or 5, divided by 239 times 4 millimeters, okay? So it will be like 5 comma something, whatever. Any questions regarding this? Geometry, you know, changing? Don't bother.
So it depends not on the height of the choke arm, but on the angle in case
the effective, the resultant will be the change. But if you take the picture of the stylus rake angle and then you realize it's more, then you have to lower or up and then decide. That's your reference. The arm tube parallel to the record, it doesn't mean that your stylus rake angle is correct. It doesn't mean. And I'll show you pictures.
A question regarding the setup of the stylus at the cantilever. Wasn't it Mikey pointing out a few weeks ago that the proper setup of the stylus at the cantilever is the most critical thing? Because the manufacturer tolerance is the problem.
Yes.
It needs to be correctly set up, because if you have a very strong deviation, then your setup won't match.
My quick answer, we'll discuss at the table with the paper and so on, but my quick answer is that no manufacturer specifies stylus rake. Some of them, they specify VGA, but they don't say, is it angle between cantilever or theoretical line green? They don't, but they will, because I have God behind me. And they already hate me, because quite few cartridges went back to manufacturers, because, hey, Wally took picture, look. So, I'm guilty guy. You know that Teil story when Emperor he ordered invisible clothing, and the fabric was visible to smart people, intelligent, not visible to stupid people. And the whole palace was so excited. What a beautiful. And little boy is coming, Emperor is naked. So I am the boy. I said, hey guys, you are charging $6,000, $7,000 for cartridge, and the stylus is screwed up. Because some of them, they had no idea that stylus rake angle is important. Okay? So we have geometry. We have the effective mass. Effective mass, it's like specified by some manufacturers, 12 grams. What does it mean? If you have the weight of the plus without cartridge, so you have the weight of the head shell, weight of the arm tube, counterweight, everything is over 100 grams total. Effective mass, it's from physics, inertia. If you take 12 grams on weightless or massless tube and support here, inertia of this weight at that effective will be the same like the toner. So then, when you have suspension, like a spring, the cantilever has the damper and piano wire, so it acts as a spring. So we have mass, spring, formula. That's beyond this seminar, okay? It's at my table, we can discuss. But effective mass will work on the mass, on the spring constant, and will generate fundamental resonance. And that fundamental resonance is recommended between 8 and 12 hertz. That's the fundamental resonance. And there are some methods to measure. Dr. Feikert issued some or Hi-Fi News test record. You can listen and blah, 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 blah. The best one, some of them, they played music. And then when you have that modulation, you can hear. What you can do, mostly the resonances are below 8. And the one thing, linear tracking tone, effective mass in the vertical direction, it could be calculated in this formula. But in horizontal, the total mass of it's over 150 grams. And then resonance, which is most important, horizontal than vertical, is below 5 hertz. But people love it. I have linear tracking arm, 0 error. If the setup is done with 3 degrees misalignment, the 3 degrees travels across the record. But in the brain is happiness. I have linear tracking. So, I answered this, I explained that. Do we have some more? This stuff is not presented by lectures at the show because it's too difficult. But God told me, you can talk this stuff to Germans, they will understand. Okay, now we'll be talking about crosstalk. What is the crosstalk? This is the spindle, this is typical groove, and the left side of the groove, modulation this way, is left channel signal. The right side, the away, red one, is right channel. Now, these vibrations, or modulation, or motion of the stylus, generates, coils are also at 45 degrees, and they are magnets. So if you move this one, the coil is moving that way, and here is magnet, and here is magnet. So the coil moving in the magnetic field generates voltage. The same is opposite. But when you have left channel recorded only, the signal is generated in the green coil, but nothing is perfect. Even German is not perfect. So there is a residual. What is residual? Something it generated in other channel. So we have talking crosstalk. Okay, now the practical rule. If your signal, if the left we lost green one. If the left signal will take like 0 dB, so left to right will be voltage, but should be converted to dB. And if it's minus 30 dB lower, we play left signal on the test record, and we measure what is in the right, what is generated. If it's minus 30 dB, don't bother, don't worry, it's fine. Now, people are obsessed. They want to make, by rotating cartridge, if your tone arm allows, uni-pivot, you can change the counterweight, or head shell rotating and measure. There is some idea that the crosstalk, right to left, is different. Okay, I want to show the pictures. Right to left will be, say, 25 dB. It bothers them. They cannot listen to music. They cannot sleep. My crosstalk is not the same. So they rotate, they measure, they spend hours and hours for nothing. If the crosstalk is like 10 dB and 10 dB, the staging is shrinking because it's 0 dB crosstalk will be mono. In mono, left and right channel are the same. If your left channel is 0 dB and then crosstalk is minus 10 dB, so it means you have a lot of information from left channel to the right channel and opposite. The rule of thumb, from my experience, that 36 dB from one channel and 31 dB is way better than 22 and 22. The guy has the same, but his crosstalk is shrinking stage. Anything better than 30 dB, you cannot hear. You cannot realize in staging, because it's staging stereo effect. If we have groove, and we have stylus here, and tone arm here, and pivot here, okay? So, there is a radius. That groove, when it's rotating, is pulling the stylus tangentially. Okay? That's the F drag. So now, what we have here, that F drag is F pivot, and here F skating. It is high school, it means 10th grade or 11, that each force could be divided or broken to two different forces. And this is resultant. That F pivot is compensated by bearings here. F pivot.